Hey friends, welcome back. I wanted to do a get ready with me today. I recently picked up a bunch of new to me makeup like over the weekend. There's been several makeup items that I've been wanting to pick up and test out for a while. And so I just did that. So none of these products are technically like new at the drugstore, but they're just things that are new to my collection, and I wanted to just do a get ready with me using these for the first time. I think I've swatched some of these and kind of played around with them like before I wash my makeup off at the end of the day, but I haven't done like a specific makeup look with them. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump in. Whoops. So the first thing that I picked up, and I've had this in my makeup collection. I'm pretty sure I've had this in my makeup collection before. And I just remember not liking this product, but recently I've been hearing people rave about this. So I wanted to get it tested out again. I thought like maybe they've changed the formula or something, but the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation, this is the matte one. I've heard that the matte one is better than the dewy one. So, and I've heard Tati and Emily Noel rave about this. So I'm like, okay, I got to get this and see if maybe it's better than I remember. So we're going to use this today. And I picked up the shades Soft Ivory and Soft Beige. I think that Soft Ivory is going to be the shade that I'm going to need. Sorry, I feel like my voice is a little bit cracking today. I'm still pretty early in the morning. So I'm just going to put some of it here on the back of my hand, there like that. It's a thicker foundation. It kind of reminds me of like the consistency of like my Revlon Color Stay or something like that. So I'm just going to dot this around. I just remember when I used this foundation in the past, I felt like it looked good at first, but it just didn't have good staying power on me. And I don't know, like maybe the first time I used this was like in the summer, and sometimes like foundations in the summer months just don't really last well on my skin because it gets really humid where I live. So, and my skin has a tendency to be a tad bit more oily in the summer. So I've been enjoying this method with dotting foundation on my face first, just so I don't over apply foundation. And also too, it's like my makeup sponge always soaks up more foundation if I just go directly with the foundation on the sponge. So, but I do think that this shade match seems like a really good shade match for me in Soft Ivory. I'm gonna move my mirror a little bit closer so I can see what I'm doing. And who knows, you know, it's just like sometimes our skin changes, our preference changes on products that we like over time. Sometimes formulas change. But do any of you guys own this Wet n Wild foundation? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? It's like, to be honest, I feel like it has less coverage than like their tinted hydrator. Like, I mean, it's covering up like redness and things like that, but it doesn't seem like super full coverage. I've got like a random eyelash or something right here. But it definitely has a little bit more of a matte finish for sure. I wouldn't say that it's like flat matte, but it's definitely not a dewy foundation. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go in with a light layer of it. So that's what it looks like blended on the skin. I would say that it has more like light, more of a light medium. Like, I wouldn't say that it's super light, but I wouldn't say, like, you know how some medium coverage foundations kind of lean a little bit full? This is like a medium that leans a little light coverage, I feel like. Because I feel like I can still see things underneath my skin. It doesn't look bad, like it looks good. So, okay. I mean, initially I like this, so I don't know if I'll necessarily do a wear test today. I might just like put on screen how it wore. I was just getting like a makeup remover wipe to get this foundation off the back of my hand. It does also seem like this foundation might get a little bit warmer, like it might oxidize a little bit, but that's actually okay. I feel like it actually matches me a little bit better once it got a little bit more warm toned. Okay, the next new to me thing that I picked up is the Revlon Flexware Full Coverage Concealer. And I got the shade in Vanilla. So I'm just gonna dot this on the under eyes. Like that. This is another product that Emily Noel raves about. I think it was like in her Emily Award that she does like at the end of the year, her Emily Awards. I think this was like one of her concealers that won. It's supposed to be like really full coverage, really long wearing. Okay, yeah, I do like that shade on me. It does seem like it blends out well. I don't see it like sticking to any dry areas. Okay. I think I do like that. I actually had picked this concealer up in some other shades like a while back. Like I was trying to find like the shade that I needed, and I got like light and I got fair, and I feel like maybe I got like another shade, and all of those were way too like yellowy toned. So if you've been having like a hard time figuring out like what color you need, this one in Vanilla is a little bit more of like a pinkish undertone, which a lot of times for myself, I find those concealers to be a bit more brightening. And especially if I'm, you know, I don't really have a lot of sun, like it's not the summertime and I'm a bit more fair, I just find that this tone of concealer matches me so much better. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I feel like this concealer really matches like the finish of the foundation. It's definitely a bit more matte. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more of this concealer just down here in this area. I just want some more coverage, but I don't want to add more coverage to my actual under eyes. That's always like my little trick that I do if I want to add more coverage to that area to brighten, but don't want to put too much concealer on the under eyes. I mean, this concealer does seem a bit more like, I wouldn't say dry, but it seems like it sets up more and feels a lot more matte than a lot of the other concealers that I've been using recently, like the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer or like the Rimmel Multitasker. If you have super dry under eyes, I feel like this might accentuate like dry patches on the under eye area. So just be aware of that, but it definitely sets up well. Seems like it's gonna last for a long time. And I do like the shade in Vanilla. Like, let's just swatch this next to some of the other concealers that I use just to give you an idea of the color of it. This right here is the Revlon Flexware in Vanilla. Then this is the Rimmel Multitasker in shade 030. Then we have the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Fair Beige, which this one you can see is a little bit more kind of peachy. It's probably the more warm toned one of the four of these. And then this one over here is the Tarte Shape Tape in Light, which is 20B. This one is very comparable to the Revlon one. Like you can even see like the finish is very similar. So if you're that shade in the Tarte in 20B in the shade Light, I think that Revlon shade in Fair or in Vanilla would match really well. So yeah, you can see these other two are a little bit more warm. I mean, it's like these are actually pretty close in tone, but this one's just like a little bit more yellowy. But anyway, I find that any of those concealers work well on my under eyes, and I love all of those. Well, I don't know about the Revlon Flexwear yet because I haven't really worn that one, but out of those other three, I love those. The Tarte Shape Tape, the Rimmel Multitasker, and the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo. Like these are my most reached for and used concealers. I mean, I also like the Natasha Denona High Glam, but I don't tend to reach for that one as much. And it's like, honestly, like with these products today, like they set up so well. I don't necessarily even need to use a powder, but I probably will use one of these two powders just because I bought two new powders. So I bought another one of the Morphe Cloud Light Soft Glow Veil powders, and this is in the shade Sunrise. So this one's a little bit more warm toned than the one that I have in Dawn. So it's got a little bit more of like that golden undertone. Like, let me get Dawn and show you the difference here. So here are the two of those compared to each other. So you got Dawn and Sunrise. So Dawn definitely has more of like a pinkish undertone, and Sunrise is more golden. And then I also picked up a few MCO beauty products. I have not used anything from this brand, and I know that this is a huge like dupe brand where they dupe a lot of high-end makeup. So this is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. And I actually own that powder, but unfortunately I dropped it and the powder like exploded. So I can't really compare them right next to each other, but just looking at the packaging and everything, you can definitely tell that it's trying to dupe that powder. And I did swatch this, and the finish of this powder just feels very similar to her powder. Like, it's just so smooth. I don't know how MCO Beauty does it, but I think today I might use just the Morphe powder in Sunrise, just also too to add a little bit more of a glow back to the skin, because I feel like we're looking a little bit matte, but I mean, it doesn't look bad, but this will add maybe a little bit more of a glow. It definitely seems like it's adding a little bit more warmth to the face. Yeah, you can definitely see the glow, I think. So I don't know if you can tell that that Morphe powder added just a nice soft glow effect to the skin. So that's really pretty. I mean, I really love the other powder that I have in Dawn, but this powder is also so smooth, and it's just like slightly warm. Like, it really just blends right into my skin tone. Like, it's really kind of hard to see there, but I hope you can see how it has like that nice sheen to it. It doesn't have any glitter in it. It just creates just a soft glow. I think these Morphe powders are so good. Like, I know I've raved so much about the one in Dawn, but this one in Sunrise, oh my gosh. And they do have some darker shades. So if you are a medium or deeper skin tone, they definitely have shades that would work for you as well. Okay, so let's use this MCO powder to set the under eyes. And I'm just gonna use this flat setting powder brush from Profusion. Just gonna get a little bit on there, and I'm just gonna lightly dust it. I don't even know if I'm really gonna be able to tell much. I don't want to use too much of this powder just because that Revlon concealer really did set up well. You really don't need a powder to set it. But what I might do, oh, here they are. I was like, I couldn't figure out where I had put all my little triangle powder poof things, and I had them in this little drawer over here. I'm going to take a little bit of this powder on that and just kind of press it right here in the T-zone. Yeah, you can definitely see the powder. I probably applied a little too much just to kind of mattify the T-zone area. I actually think that maybe this MCO powder has a little bit more pigmentation than the Charlotte Tilbury one. I just remember that one being like very undetectable on the skin. So I didn't get any new brow products, so I'm probably just going to either speed through this or just do this off camera. But I'm just using the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in neutral brown, and then, well, I might actually use the Maybelline Super Lock on my brows first, just to kind of set them in place, and then I'm going to go in with that brow pencil to fill in my brows. It's like another foundation I also want to get because I know a couple of you guys have been telling me to get this foundation, and it's also another one that Emily raves about. I love her. She is one of my favorite beauty creators here on YouTube, probably my favorite. I just really relate to her. I mean, I know that I don't have kids, but I don't know. I really love Emily. I think she is such a genuine person, and I love her content. And we like a lot of the same makeup colors and makeup products, but she had been raving about the Rimmel, what's their foundation? I forget what their foundation is called, but the long wearing like Rimmel lasting finish. The lasting finish Rimmel foundation. She's been raving about that, and a couple of you guys have been telling me that is your favorite foundation. So I want to get that one, but it is so hard to find. Like basically no stores around me sell that. So I'm going to have to get it online, but I don't really know like the shade that I need in that. So if any of you guys that are recommending that foundation to me, like if you wear some of the same foundation shades as me, let me know in the comments like what shade you use in that, because I just don't really know what shade to get. And I am a few shades lighter normally in foundation than Emily is, so I don't know. I feel like the shade that she uses would probably be a little bit too dark for me. That might be more of like my summer shade. Also, while I was filling in my brows, I went ahead and primed my eyelids with the Milani eyeshadow primer. Picked up several new palettes, so I'm gonna have to figure out which one of these I want to use. So I picked up the Rimmel Magnifies Blush Edition palette. I also got the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox, and in one of my recent Get Ready With Me's, I was asking you guys like what are your favorite cool tone eyeshadow palettes, and several of you guys told me this one, and I've also been wanting to get this. I just think that this has so many beautiful, like great cool toned shades in here. So yeah, there's several of these ColourPop mega palettes that I do want to get, but the other day whenever I was at Ulta, this was the only one that they had in store. So I might go to another Ulta today and see if they have any other of these mega palettes. Like I'd like to get the matte one, and maybe what was the other one I wanted to get? Maybe like the warm toned one. I don't remember, but like maybe the warmer version of this palette. And then, which I might not need to get that because I also picked up this huge Makeup Revolution. This is their Maxi Reloaded palette in the Ultimate Nudes. So, you know, with this palette, it's like, do I really need the warm tone from ColourPop? But I know like these ColourPop palettes are so, like so good. So I can't really decide if I want to do ColourPop today or if I want to do this one. As you can tell, like I did swatch this a bunch. Like I swatched a lot of the colors in this the other day. So the only thing I can say, at least about swatching this palette, is I feel like there are a lot of shades in this palette that are very similar, that they could have put different shades in here to make it a little bit more varied. But let's maybe use this Makeup Revolution palette today, just because I haven't seen anybody use this in a video and I'm really curious about it. The only thing is this palette's kind of hard to open, and I feel like over time, like the packaging would break on this. But I used to love this. It used to be called Makeup Revolution, but Revolution Beauty. I used to love like their smaller palettes that are like this. I had at least one of them, but I think I may have decluttered that. I'll have to check my makeup collection. It's been a hot minute since I've used that. But anyway, let's see. What shade do I want to use first? And I've been more into like warm toned looks lately, so I'm probably going to do a little bit more of a warm toned look. Okay, let's first go in with this shade down here in the corner, this one here. And I'm just blending that in the crease with one of the blending brushes from that Amazon brush set that I always use. I'll have that set linked down below if you know you'd like to check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, like it seems to have good pigmentation. It's blending out well. Like it's blending the same way that I remember like the other palette that I had of theirs. Like, are there other things? Sorry, my voice just cracked again. I'm going through puberty today. Are there any other things from makeup? It's so weird for me to not call this Makeup Revolution, but from Revolution Beauty that you love that I should pick up and try out. Like, I really do want to just kind of focus on like one brand at a time and just do like a full face of like Revolution Beauty, a full face of Essence, a full face of, I'm trying to think of like some other, like Morphe. Is that how you say it? I know that a lot of you guys, well, maybe not a lot, but I've had a few of you guys tell me to try out some products from them. And I do want to try out some of their products just because I know that Jen Phelps really likes a lot of their things, and Allie Glines talks about Morphe Beauty as well. So, and actually, you know what? Lip Gloss Leslie, she's also raved about their products as well. It's just that some of these brands that their products are not as accessible in, you know, like the drugstores or like, you know, the places around you. If it's hard to get it in store, like sometimes, you know, I do order makeup online, but I don't know. It's like, I do prefer buying makeup in person, but to be honest, some things are just so hard to find in store. But I do really like the way that this shade is blending out. I do like this color. And then I'm gonna take, I really need to wash my makeup brushes. But I'm just taking the Sigma Pencil E30 brush and I'm getting more of that color on this brush. Just running this on the lower lash line. But who are some of your favorite beauty content creators here on YouTube that you love watching? Let me know in the comments. But like I said, Emily Noel is definitely like my top beauty creator. It's like, I like Jen Phillips, I like Allie Glines. I always feel like I can't say her last name correctly. I'm trying to think who else I watch a lot. Oh, Tati, like I watch Tati's videos. I think she has good makeup recommendations. And like I like Lip Gloss Leslie, and there's another girl, her name's Mandy. Is it Mandy Leah, I think? Her videos are really good, but she doesn't necessarily post all the time. I know that she, you know, has a job outside of YouTube and a family and everything. But I think her videos are really good as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in with my e.l.f. Defining Eye Brush. I got this out of like an e.l.f. brush set, and I want to go in with like a lighter shade. So I'm going to use this shade here, and I'm going to put that, I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlights. It's like, yeah, I feel like this palette could have benefited from like maybe like a matte white, you know? And it's like, there's so many shades in here. I mean, like this is a pretty dark brown, but with as many shades as they have in here, and there's a lot of shades that are kind of similar to this, like this one, this one, this one, this one. I mean, even some of these over here, like that one is getting maybe even more warm toned than those other shades, but it's like, I feel like they could have put like a matte cream, a jet black, you know, to have like a full spectrum of, you know, nude and natural colors in here. They could have put a few more cool tone shades in here, like some grays, which I mean, I know that they have a few like cooler tone browns, but, and I'm sure that anybody else that's reviewed this palette has probably said the same thing. It's like this shade has maybe the slightest bit of a sheen. It doesn't necessarily have shimmer in it. Okay, and then I do want to do like an outer V type of color. But I don't think I want to do anything like too crazy dark. Yeah, like let's use the shade over here in the palette. I'm just using my Sigma E25 blending. And this is more of a warm matte brown. It's like I'm back into my warm toned makeup era. I mean, I did get Stone Cold Fox, and I would consider also this little palette to be a little bit more on the cool tone side. So I don't know, you know, like one week I'm into warm tone shades, the next week I'm into cool tone shades. So I really love both. Like I love warm tone makeup, I love cool tone makeup. I just love it all. And I still want to continue to do like my seasonal color analysis series, like makeup series on the different color seasons. Like I'm just trying to read up on things and just test some things out, figure out like what I would recommend for the different seasons. And I know that some of you guys probably don't care about that series, but I found it interesting. And I know that a few of you guys are also interested in it as well. Just going back with that original blending brush, nothing added to it, and just kind of like going around the edges, making sure things are blended out well. And I might actually go with a darker shade here on the lower lash line. I'm going to grab some of this color here on this pencil brush, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to blend some of that here on the lower lash line. Just want to make it a little bit smokier out here. I have a doctor's appointment this morning, so I don't want to look too super glam, but I mean, I don't really care. But I don't want a super duper smoky eye, just slightly. Okay, I said I didn't want to make this too smoky, but I might also grab just a little bit of this black on the tip of this Sigma E25 blending. I do just want to deepen this up a little bit more. But yeah, the colors in this palette have blended out super well. I love these tones. And I know that this palette is really big, so it's probably not practical for some people. And it's just like, I'm sure a lot of people are like, I have these colors like in my palette somewhere. But I do like how it's just like, you basically have any shade, at least for the most part, that you would need to do a nice, just like either natural, you know, nude look or a more smoky look like this, or bronzy. You know, you've got like a lot of different options in here. So I do really like that you could just pull out this one palette and just grab whatever shades from it. I might try this brush. This is the Morphe M134 brush. And I'm going to put one of these lighter shades on the lid. I just got to figure out which one I want to use. I think I might go with more of like a golden type of shade. Maybe this one right over here. I feel like my stomach's making a lot of noises right now. I'm trying not to eat anything because I'm going in for like just my annual or yearly physical or whatever at my primary care doctor's, and I don't want to eat anything because if I eat something, then I'll have to go back a separate day to get blood work done. And honestly, like that's the main reason why I'm going to get this physical, is to get my blood work. I mean, because I feel fine, like I don't need to go to the doctor, but it's always good to go and get your blood work done just to make sure everything is good and that there isn't any problems. And then I think I'm going to take this darker color that's here, and I'm going to flip this shader brush over to the other side. And I'm going to pat that so to kind of help blend into that darker color in the outer V. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, the thing about like the shimmery shades in this palette is they are a little bit, I guess, sort of chunky looking on the eye. Like they're not necessarily like a smooth shimmer. And some people might not like that. I don't mind it, but if your eyelids were really mature, it might not look good. Like it might emphasize crepiness, I feel like. But yeah, like these two shimmers have really good pigmentation. Like I'm not struggling to get them on or blend them out. And it seems like as long as I'm like tapping my brush off good before I'm going in with the color, I'm not having any issues with fallout either. I'm gonna use, it's so hard for me to get this up here to show you guys the shades. I'm gonna use this color here, like in my inner corner. And I'm just using that same e.l.f. defining eye brush. Now this one isn't quite as like chunky shimmery as the other ones. This is a little bit more of like a just traditional shimmer, like smooth type of color. It's like, would it be an eyeshadow look for me if I didn't do a bright inner corner? I always do a bright inner corner. I just like the way it looks. I feel like it just opens my eyes up. Okay, so that is the eye look done. I think it turned out really beautiful, so I do really like that palette, like on first application. I'll see how it lasts, but I'm sure it's gonna last well because I use my Milani eyeshadow primer, and I don't remember having any issues with like makeup or with Revolution Beauty. I guess this one does say Makeup Revolution on it. Maybe they just didn't change the packaging. I don't know. It's like at Ulta, we've got Revolution Beauty. At Target, you've got Makeup Revolution. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Revolution, Makeup Revolution, Revolution Beauty. It's just Revolution. With bronzers and blushes that I picked up. Well, I only picked up one bronzer, and I have used this in the past. But I feel like maybe they've kind of changed the formula on this a little bit. Like the packaging looked different. Like it just looked different in general. But this is one of the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzers in Sunset Striptease. I mean, it does feel like super creamy, like the formula. The finish on it, it does have a little bit of like a satin sort of finish. Sort of like the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. That same sort of finish. First, I want to go in with the Real Techniques 200 brush. I've been liking to apply my bronzers a little bit more concentrated right here, where it's almost like I'm doing a contour, but not. Just so I don't get like the bronzer too far down. Okay, I think that this color is okay for me. Like it is a little bit warm and dark, but I feel like once I get my whole face bronzed, it makes sense. And I'm just using the Sigma F30. Okay, I mean, like this definitely does have a little bit more of, I wouldn't say like a highlighter effect, but it's definitely a bit more glowy. Like, I don't know if you can see on my forehead there than like the Physicians Formula one. So it might not be like my typical type of bronzer that I would normally use because, I mean, I don't mind for my bronzers to have a bit of a sheen in it, but I don't want it to be too overly like highlighter type of glow. Like, see how that is? I feel like that's got such a golden glow in it. That might be a little bit too much for me. But I feel like overall, like the color is fine. And see, I think like maybe that's what I remembered about like when they, because I don't know if you guys remember like the big containers that like their bronzers were originally in, like the Ticket to Brazil and what was the other one? Bikini Contest, I think. And then they also had the big one that was like Habana something, like, I don't remember now. But anyway, the Cabana one was like a highlighter, like a really natural highlighter. But those bronzers did have a little bit of like a sheen in them, but they weren't super shimmery like this, or at least I don't remember them being that way. And then I feel like once they redid them and put them in this packaging, they were super like bronzy. So I don't know. I don't know if this is like my favorite kind of bronzer. So it's like I'm kind of remembering why I didn't really use that too much. But see, I just feel like it emphasizes things that I don't want emphasized. Okay, and then the two new, well, no, I take that back. I got 4 new blushes. I got 2 new powder blushes and 2 cream blushes, which actually one of these is newer from e.l.f. This is in Cheeky Lychee, Leche? Cheeky Leche? Lychee? I don't know how to pronounce it. Leche? Yeah, I think it's Cheeky Leche, maybe. So it's like a warm toned kind of coral pink color. And then I picked up another one of the L'Oreal Lumi La Liquid blushes. This is in Dewy Bright Pink. And I think that this is kind of similar to the e.l.f. one, just this one's a little bit lighter. So they're like that same peachy, corally pink color, which I do really love this shade for summer. And then with the MCO Beauty blush, I got Blush Red. This is the Glow Up pH Powder blush, which this is supposed to be duping like the Dior blushes, which I don't have any of the Dior blushes in my collection, so I don't really know, you know, how it's duping that, but I do really love that color. Still kind of in that same tone. And then I got one of the Revlon powder blushes in Very Berry, which I don't really know if this color is made anymore, but I happened to find this at a Walgreens, and I have been looking for this shade for a while, so I picked it up. So that one is like darker and deeper, like more berryish color. So those are all of the new blushes that I picked up. And I think I want to try this MCO Beauty blush today. And I do feel like these red tone blushes are definitely on trend right now. But I'm just using my Morphe M241. And this blush does seem pretty pigmented, so I'm going to dab some of it off on the back of my hand. But yeah, I love this color. So, so pretty. Just gives you like the perfect flush. But have you guys used anything from MCO Beauty? Did I ask you that earlier? Don't remember. But if you have used anything from this brand, like what are some of the things that you like? See, like this is another brand where I could do like full face of MCO Beauty. And then I do want to take just the smallest amount of this blush with my blending brush. And I'm going to put this at the top of my crease. I just love doing this. I don't know. Sometimes I just find that it really ties a look in to take your blush and just put it at the top of your crease. And I didn't get a new highlight or anything, so I'm like debating. I've got like a speck of something right here. So I'm like debating if I even want to put a highlight on. Like, do I just do setting spray? It's like maybe I could use a little bit of the Morphe Cloud Light Soft Glow Veil in Sunrise as like my highlight. That way we could just see, you know, what it looks like to use it a little bit more as a highlight. Okay, yeah, that is really pretty. Just like a nice soft glow. And then I'm just going to mist my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. See, like, I feel like with this blush being so red, this is like where you would want to use like the pink setting powder to kind of help blend with your under eyes. But so off camera, I fixed my hair, I got ready, and I went ahead and did my mascara. I just used my very favorite Maybelline Lash Sensational, knocking things down. And now I just need to figure out what I want to wear on my lips. And I did pick up several new lip products. I'm probably not going to like share all the ones I picked up because I picked up so many, or I picked up quite a few. Okay, I think I'm going to wear one of these L'Oreal lipsticks that I picked up. This is just one of their Color Riche. This is in Toasted Almond, which it's a really pretty warm nude. I'll just swatch it on the back of my hand. So it just looks like that. And I'm going to line my lips first with this Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in Sienna. I find that these two pair really nicely together. And then, like I said, I'm going in with Toasted Almond. Like, I don't know exactly what happened to this lipstick, if it was broke before I bought it or after I bought it, but it kind of broke down in the tube there, and I feel like it's kind of hard to use. It's so soft, I'm scared I'm just gonna like break it straight off. But it's such a perfect warm nude lipstick shade, and it pairs so nice with that Sienna lip liner by Revlon. But this is the completed makeup look. I really love all of the products that I used today. I think they all look beautiful, so I feel like that was a win, all the products that I picked up. But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's Get Ready With Me. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.